There are mornings when you leave your home and the air itself feels thick, like something you cannot see is waiting to siphon your strength and stand in your path. You move through life asking yourself why simple chances escape your grasp, why warmth leaves people's eyes when you come near, and why doors that should swing open for you stay locked tight. Most will call it misfortune. But if you understand the spiritual, you know nothing is an accident. Unseen forces can trail behind you, observing you, working to dim your spirit before your day truly starts. This is why you must never step outside without spiritual covering, because the moment you cross your threshold, you are entering a battlefield. Life starts to make sense when you stop thinking everything is physical and begin to see that life operates by spiritual laws. Some people carry light, others carry shadows, and there are those who move through the world with wicked plans hidden behind careful smiles. The individuals you meet, the spaces you enter, even the glances sent your way, all of these things release energy into your life. That is why some days you feel emptied for no cause, or everything you build seems to crumble. It is not random. It is spiritual interference. There are powers that actively work against your progress. And if you leave your house empty, exposed, the enemy exploits that openness. But what many have forgotten is that God created natural things with spiritual meaning and hidden purpose. Long before modern religion, before science, before written books, ancient believers knew that ordinary items carry spiritual assignments. They used simple tools to block evil intentions, to confuse the adversary, to attract favor, and to change the very atmosphere around them. These items were never random. They were instruments filled with divine symbolism. And today I want to share with you one of those powerful tools that so many overlook, yet it holds a sweetness and a fire that spiritual opposition fears. It is something small, something most of you already have in your kitchen, something you pass by every single day without realizing its spiritual weight. This item has shielded kings, guided journeyers, and opened doors for those who understood its secret. When you carry it with the right awareness, you activate a shield around your life that no darkness can pierce. This is not superstition. This is spiritual wisdom passed down through generations. When you see why it works, you will watch your days transform in ways you never dreamed. Today, I want to reveal the hidden reason why carrying 3 whole cloves in your pocket before you step outside can shift your entire day. Cloves carry a spiritual sweetness, but they also carry a spiritual fire. They stand for preservation, protection, and divine remembrance. When you place them in your pocket, you break invisible watching spirits that follow you, and you draw unexpected favor from people you encounter. You block negative energies trying to cling to you, and you confuse enemies who set traps in silence. Cloves make you spiritually untouchable. If you are weary of strange attacks, sudden setbacks, unexplained delays, and this invisible frustration every time you leave your home, get ready. What I will share with you is simple, but once you grasp how it works, you will never go out without it again. This is not about living in fear. It is about walking in dominion. It is about commanding your atmosphere before the enemy tries to command you. And once you learn how to carry cloves with spiritual understanding, you will experience a shift so clear, so noticeable, that even those who oppose you will sense something has changed around your life. To see why cloves carry such strong spiritual authority, you must first understand the atmosphere we live in. Every day you walk through spaces where different energies meet. Some are pure, some are contaminated, and some are openly hostile. Not every path you walk is clean. And not every environment welcomes your destiny. When you place cloves in your pocket, you are carrying a natural spiritual purifier, something that absorbs negativity and stops it from entering your spirit. It acts like an unseen filter, letting you move freely while blocking what was sent to weaken you. Cloves have always been known as a symbol of preservation. Spiritually, they hold things together. keeping what is meant to bless you from spoiling or falling apart. When you carry 3 cloves in your pocket, you are spiritually commanding stability over your day. Opportunities that might have slipped away are preserved. Blessings that were about to be stolen remain in your hands. Conversations that could have turned sour shift in your favor. People who wanted to twist your words become confused. This simple act preserves your path from unnecessary attacks. But cloves do not just preserve, they also protect. Their natural fire represents spiritual fire. And spiritual fire is one of the strongest shields there is. When you walk into a place carrying cloves, you walk in covered with spiritual heat. People who carry dark intentions will feel uneasy around you. Those who plan to speak against you will suddenly hold their tongue. Those who wanted to drain your energy will be blocked by a barrier they cannot see but can feel. Cloves build a spiritual firewall around your life as you move through your day. Many people do not know that cloves can also expose hidden enemies. When you carry them, the atmosphere around you shifts and the true intentions of others begin to surface. A person who always smiled at you may suddenly act differently, not because you offended them, but because the spiritual fire you carry has revealed who they truly are. The sweetness of cloves draws genuine people toward you, while the fire pushes pretenders away. This is how God protects his people, by revealing what cannot be seen with natural sight. The number 3 also has meaning. 3 cloves symbolize wholeness, spirit, soul, and body. When you carry 3, you are aligning these 3 parts of your being and sealing them with protection. Many attacks succeed because people walk around spiritually open. But the moment you place that small bundle in your pocket, you close every crack the enemy once used to enter. You walk out with spiritual completeness, and completeness brings strength. You feel bolder, you feel lighter, you feel covered. Another powerful thing cloves do is restore lost favor. Sometimes people turn from you not because of your character, but because of the spiritual cloud surrounding you. Cloves carry an aroma that spiritually translates to sweetness. When you carry them, you spiritually smell pleasant to the atmosphere around you. People respond to you better. Helpers notice you. Opportunities find you with less struggle. You find yourself attracting kindness in unexpected places. What was once a battle begins to flow with ease. This is why many people see an immediate change the very first day they start carrying. NG cloves. It is not magic. It is spiritual alignment. When you carry cloves, you are aligning your energy with divine sweetness while protecting yourself with divine fire. You are placing yourself where blessings recognize you and battles avoid you. You walk into life with a small tool that carries ancient spiritual authority, and life responds by opening doors that once felt permanently locked. So when you put 3 cloves in your pocket before stepping out, you are not just doing a simple act. You are activating a spiritual law. You are declaring, as I go out, let sweetness follow me. Let protection surround me. And let no evil intention prosper. You are speaking over your life without saying a word out loud. You are carrying a reminder of who you are in the spirit. Someone who is guarded, preserved, favored, and lifted. And when you begin to walk with this knowing, even the atmosphere around you will shift to respect you. One of the most overlooked attacks people face daily is silent spiritual monitoring. Eyes that follow you, thoughts aimed at you, people who speak ill of you without ever opening their mouths. These are not always physical enemies. Sometimes it is a spiritual energy trying to observe your progress so it can block it. When you place cloves in your pocket, you interrupt this monitoring. Their natural aroma in the physical translates to disruption in the spirit. Suddenly, whoever was watching you spiritually loses focus. They cannot track your movements, your plans, or your blessing. The cloves scatter their attention. Cloves also confuse anyone who is intentionally fighting your destiny. When a person carries evil intention, jealousy, hidden competition, or silent hatred, their spirit tries to connect to your path to damage it. But 3 cloves in your pocket create a disconnection. The fire of the cloves breaks their link to your life, and the sweetness blinds their spiritual sight. Without meaning to, they become confused about how to attack you. Some forget their harmful missions. Some lose interest. Some turn against each other. This confusion is part of the spiritual power cloves carry. Another mystery people miss is how cloves remove heaviness from your life. Sometimes you step out of the house already carrying burdens that are not even yours. Negative energy from past places, anxiety picked up from people around you, or spiritual residue from locations you have visited. Cloves act like a cleanser. When they sit in your pocket, they drain the heaviness before it attaches to your spirit. You walk lighter, your mind feels clearer, your thoughts flow better, and because your energy is clean, you make better decisions throughout your day. Cloves also sharpen your intuition. Many people walk straight into danger because they do not feel spiritual warnings. When you carry cloves, the spiritual fire they represent heightens your inner senses. You start to notice things you previously ignored. A voice inside telling you not to trust someone. A quiet feeling warning you about a specific place. A sudden sense of caution stopping you from walking into trouble. Cloves awaken that spiritual alertness, the ability to see beyond the surface and discern the hidden intentions of people and situations. And because your intuition grows stronger, cloves help you avoid traps set by wicked people. There are people who smile with you by day but plot against you by night. There are people who pretend to support you while praying for your downfall. Cloves disrupt their plans. They create a spiritual blockage that stops you from walking into traps unknowingly. Even if someone tries to manipulate you, the cloves weaken their influence. You find yourself escaping dangers you did not even know were there. This is how God uses Natu, raw things, to guide his children safely. Cloves also protect your financial path. Many people do not realize that money can be spiritually attacked. Blockages in business, delays in payments, unexpected costs, and missed opportunities can all have a spiritual root. But cloves carry an energy that repels poverty-driven attacks. When you carry them, you shield your day from losses. Money flows where it should. Doors that were meant to open for you begin to open. People who owe you may suddenly remember. Helpers may appear unexpectedly. Financial confusion clears because the cloves burn away the negative energy attached to your money path. Another spiritual secret is that cloves remove the aura of rejection. Some people miss opportunities because those around them cannot feel them positively. They walk with an energy that pushes blessings away without knowing it. Cloves change that. Their spiritual sweetness softens the atmosphere around you. People respond better. Your presence becomes more welcoming. Even those who never noticed you before begin to look at you with kindness. And this shift is often the missing key that unlocks divine connections and unexpected breakthroughs. This is why carrying 3 cloves changes your entire day. It creates a balance of protection and attraction. Fire to burn negativity, sweetness to attract favor. You become spiritually invisible to enemies, but spiritually visible to helpers. You walk with a quiet glow that only the spirit realm can see. That glow is what removes attacks, opens doors, softens hearts, and aligns your day with divine guidance. And once you begin experiencing this shift, you will understand why ancient people valued cloves so deeply. There is a reason why ancient cultures kept cloves close whenever they traveled or left their homes. Beyond their sweetness and fragrance, cloves carry a powerful vibration that attracts opportunity. When you carry 3 cloves in your pocket, you are not just blocking evil, you are pulling goodness toward you. The spiritual frequency of cloves makes people more open to help you, more willing to listen to you, and more ready to support you. This is why some people notice that the very first day they carry cloves, a conversation turns in their favor. A stranger smiles at them warmly, or someone unexpectedly offers assistance. Favor follows sweetness, and cloves release that sweetness around your day. Cloves also help balance your energy in environments filled with tension. You may not know this, but many places you enter, offices, public transport, markets, gatherings, carry leftover energy from stressed, angry, jealous, or bitter people. These energies cling to the air and affect those who enter without protection. Cloves act as an energetic stabilizer. They keep your spirit calm, centered, and grounded even when the environment is polluted. You find yourself less irritated, less anxious, and less impacted by negativity. Instead of absorbing the chaos around you, You move through your day with grace and stability. When you carry cloves, you also soften the spiritual path ahead of you. Some people struggle because the places they walk are filled with invisible resistance, territorial spirits, negative vibrations, or old energies that oppose progress. Cloves weaken this resistance. They clear the path spiritually before your feet land on it. As you walk, you are walking through an atmosphere that has already been softened for you. Blockages melt, delays disappear, hard places become smooth. What once felt difficult becomes manageable. This is why cloves are known as path openers. In many spiritual traditions, cloves also create spiritual courage. There is a quiet boldness that rises in you when your energy is protected and aligned. Many people do not realize that fear is often spiritual, not just emotional. Fear grows in environments where negative energy overwhelms your spirit. When you carry cloves, their fire ignites your confidence from within. You speak with more authority. You make decisions with clarity. You stand firm where you once felt timid. Your energy becomes strong, and people around you sense that strength. This inner courage attracts respect in every environment you enter. Another powerful thing cloves do is break the cycle of repeated disappointment. Many people experience the same negative outcome again and again, not because they lack effort, but because the spiritual atmosphere surrounding their life has been contaminated. Cloves disrupt that cycle. They neutralize the spiritual residue of past failures that try to follow you into your new day. They break the repetition of rejection and replace it with fresh openness. As you carry them, you begin to notice that what used to fail suddenly works. What used to collapse begins to stand. And what used to be blocked now flows without struggle. Cloves also strengthen your spiritual covering. They act as a backup layer of protection that supports your prayers, your declarations, and your connection to the divine. When you step out with cloves in your pocket, you are reminding the atmosphere that you are spiritually guarded. You are carrying a symbol of preservation and divine remembrance. Evil intentions bounce off you. Hidden attacks lose their direction. Unseen arrows lose their power. Your day becomes spiritually sealed. And anyone who tries to send negativity towards you walks into their own trap. This covering follows you everywhere you go, silently working in your favor. There comes a moment in every person's journey when they finally wake up and realize that the battles they face are not ordinary. You cannot keep living as if everything you encounter is only physical when your spirit has been fighting silently for years. Carrying cloves is more than a simple ritual. It is a reminder that you must be spiritually intentional. It forces you to ask yourself, how many times have I stepped out unprotected? How many doors have stayed shut because I did not understand the atmosphere I was walking into? This awakening is necessary because ignorance is one of the enemy's strongest weapons. Once you understand the spiritual meaning behind the smallest items God placed on this earth, you begin to see life differently. This is where inner reflection begins. When you carry cloves, you start noticing patterns you once ignored. You begin to realize that some people only smile because they sense your vulnerability. You understand that certain disappointments were not coincidences, but were spiritually engineered. You see that some environments were draining you because you walked in without spiritual covering. Cloves open your eyes, not just to external battles, but to the internal ones as well. They make you examine where you have been spiritually weakened, where your energy has been leaking, and where your discernment needs strengthening. This is not to shame you, but to awaken you to your spiritual identity. The moment you start carrying cloves consistently, you begin to feel a shift inside yourself. You become more aware of who you are, what you carry, and what you deserve. You start understanding that not every rejection was meant to hurt you. Some were meant to redirect you. You realize that some friendships were never genuine, and God allowed them to fall away because your spirit needed cleansing. You become aware that your destiny requires spiritual wisdom, not just physical effort. And with every day you carry those 3 cloves, you become more awake, more grounded, and more aligned with the divine plan for your life. True spiritual awakening happens when you understand that God never intended for you to walk through life defenseless. He placed symbols in nature, salt, cloves, herbs, oil, not for decoration, but for spiritual use, for protection, for alignment, for clarity. And cloves, small as they are, become a daily reminder that you are not alone in this journey. They remind you that you have authority. They remind you that you must walk with intention. They remind you that your atmosphere matters. And as you reflect on how something so small can shift your entire day, you realize that your spiritual life has been hungry for awareness. And now that awareness has finally awakened. Now that you understand the power behind these 3 cloves, it is time to activate them with your intention. Nothing in the spirit works without your voice, your agreement, and your authority. When you place the cloves in your pocket, you must speak over them, even if it is in a whisper. Words carry energy. Words carry life. Words carry fire. Speak and declare that as you carry these cloves, every hidden darkness assigned to follow you will scatter. Speak that your path will open. Speak that every step you take today will be guided, protected, and covered. The moment you speak, you release spiritual law, and spiritual law responds faster than you can imagine. Hold the cloves for a moment before placing them in your pocket. Feel their strength. Feel their weight. Feel their purpose. Say, wherever my feet step today, let protection surround me. Say, any evil intention rising against me, return to the sender. Say, I walk with sweetness. I walk with favor. I walk with divine alignment. These declarations may seem simple, but they create powerful vibrations that travel ahead of you. As you speak, you are forming a shield around your day. You are commanding your atmosphere to respect your presence. You are declaring that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Once you place the cloves in your pocket, allow your spirit to settle. You do not have to shout. You do not have to pray for hours. You simply have to stand with spiritual confidence. Walk with your head high. Walk knowing you are spiritually secured. Walk knowing you carry both sweetness and fire as you begin your day. Any negative gaze meant to weaken you will bounce back. Any word spoken against you in secret will reverse. Any spiritual arrow sent toward your destiny will dissolve mid-air. You are not just going out. You are stepping out as a spiritually armed person, wrapped in divine assurance. As you take your first step outside, speak one last declaration. As I go out, every blessing meant for me today will locate me. Every attack meant for me today will die before it reaches me. Let this be your spiritual seal. Let this be the command that governs your entire day. With cloves in your pocket and intention in your heart, you move under a covering that darkness cannot penetrate. You become untouchable, unshakable, and unreachable to evil. And from that moment onward, watch how your day begins to shift, how things align, how favor flows, how peace settles around you like a warm mantle only God could place. As you begin to see the results of walking with 3 cloves in your pocket, remember that spiritual practices work best when done with consistency. One day of protection is not enough in a world where the adversary works tirelessly. Make this a daily discipline. Make this a part of your morning routine. Just as you do not leave your house without your keys or your phone, do not leave without your clothes. Every day you carry them, you reinforce your spiritual shield, you strengthen your energy, and you keep your path aligned with divine favor. Do not treat this like a one-time experiment. Treat it like a lifestyle of spiritual awareness. Also understand that your growth needs more than one tool. This teaching is just the beginning of your awakening. There are deeper mysteries waiting for you. Mysteries about salt, about oil, about herbs, about spiritual cleansing, about breaking spiritual opposition, about restoring favor, and about unlocking destiny. You must keep learning, keep growing, and keep feeding your spirit. Watch the next teachings here on Joshua Selman Wisdom that build on this one, because knowledge is your weapon. The more you know, the harder it becomes for darkness to manipulate your life. Do not stop here. Continue watching, continue connecting, and continue strengthening your spiritual foundation. And if this message has touched your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Someone you love right now is walking outside uncovered. Someone you care for is battling invisible attacks they cannot explain. Someone in your circle is suffering spiritually in silence. Sharing this teaching may be the key that shifts their life, opens their eyes, protects them from danger, and restores their clarity. Do not underestimate the power of sharing spiritual wisdom. Spread this knowledge so others can experience the same protection and sweetness that is about to enter your life. Before you go, take a moment and speak a blessing over your day. Ask for guidance, ask for protection, ask for divine covering. And as you do that, let this message settle in your heart. You are not walking alone. You are not stepping out defenseless. You are stepping out with knowledge, authority, and spiritual intention. Carry your 3 cloves. Walk boldly and claim your day with confidence. And after this, make sure you watch the next teaching waiting for you here on Joshua Selman Wisdom, because your journey of spiritual empowerment is just beginning. And every step you take, inches you closer to the life God intended for you. Because there is a profound difference between hoping your day goes well and knowing you have taken spiritual action to ensure it does. This is the confidence that comes from walking in wisdom. When you carry those 3 cloves, you are doing more than just following an instruction. You are partnering with a timeless spiritual principle. You are aligning yourself with the understanding that your life is not a series of random events, but a journey influenced by both seen and unseen forces. And you have chosen to influence those forces in your favor. Think about the peace that comes from this simple act. You no longer have to walk into your workplace or that important meeting feeling anxious about hidden agendas or negative energy. You can walk in with the quiet assurance that you are covered. The cloves in your pocket are a tangible point of contact for your faith. They help your mind and spirit connect to the reality of your protection. This is why the ancient believers used such tools, not as idols, but as anchors for their faith and reminders of God's provision in the natural world. Now, let's talk about what happens over time. When you make this a consistent practice, you start to build a spiritual momentum. Just as a muscle grows stronger with repeated use, your spiritual authority and discernment grow stronger each day you intentionally walk in this covering. You will begin to notice that your prayers feel sharper. Your intuition becomes more reliable. You develop a quicker awareness of when something is spiritually off. In a room or in a person's presence, this is not an accident. It is your spirit becoming more attuned and more resistant to interference because you are consistently closing the doors to it. This practice also builds a habit of spiritual mindfulness. Each morning as you reach for those 3 cloves, you are reminded of the spiritual nature of your day. It shifts your focus from the purely physical tasks ahead, the emails, the commutes, the chores, to the spiritual reality you are engaging with. This moment of mindfulness sets a tone of intentionality. You are declaring right at the start that you are not a passive participant in your life. You are an active, spiritually aware agent moving through your day with purpose and protection. Let me address a very important point. Some may wonder, can something this small really make such a big difference? The answer lies not in the size of the object, but in the power of the principle it represents. In the spiritual realm, God often uses the small, the humble, the overlooked things to confound the mighty. A small stone felled a giant. A little oil multiplied to fill many jars. A few loaves and fish fed a multitude. The principle is that when we offer what we have in faith and obedience, God honors it and multiplies its effect. Those 3 cloves are your little. When you offer them up with a heart of faith and a declaration of authority, they become a vessel for a much greater spiritual work. They become a point of contact for divine protection and favor to manifest in your physical day. So I encourage you, start tomorrow. Do not wait for a crisis or a particularly difficult day. Start when things are calm. Build this spiritual habit during ordinary times so that its strength is already in place when you need it most. Prepare your 3 cloves tonight. Place them somewhere you will see them first thing in the morning. Let that be your first act of spiritual stewardship for the day. Then, as you hold them and speak your declarations, feel the transition happen within you. You are moving from a state of being vulnerable to a state of being fortified. And as you go through your day, be observant. Pay attention to the small shifts. Notice if a tense situation diffuses more easily. Notice if you encounter an unexpected kindness. Notice if a door opens that was previously stuck. Notice if you simply feel a greater sense of peace and stability as you move from place to place. These are the confirmations that the spiritual covering is at work. They are signs that you are walking in alignment with the law of protection and favor. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Acknowledge them as evidence. Let that evidence build your faith for the next day and the next. Remember, this journey you are on with Joshua Selman Wisdom is about equipping you with practical spiritual knowledge. It is about moving from theory to practice, from hearing to doing. What you have received today is a powerful, actionable key. Use it. And know that this is just one key among many that you will discover as you continue to learn and grow. Your spiritual life is meant to be rich, empowered, and effective. You are meant to walk in light, in authority, and in victory. So go forward from this moment with a new tool in your hands and a new confidence in your heart. You are no longer walking in the dark about these things. You have been given insight and a simple, powerful method to apply it. The choice is now yours to take this wisdom and let it transform your everyday life. Carry your clothes, speak your words, walk in your covering, and watch as your days begin to align with a greater sense of purpose, protection, and peace. Your story is changing, starting with this simple act of faith and wisdom. Let it be so. The beauty of this spiritual practice is that it doesn't demand extraordinary effort, but it yields extraordinary results. It meets you right where you are, in your kitchen, in your morning routine, in the quiet moments before you face the world. This is how divine wisdom operates. It integrates seamlessly into the fabric of your daily life, transforming the ordinary into a conduit for the extraordinary. That clove in your spice cabinet is no longer just a seasoning. It has become an instrument of spiritual strategy. Your pocket is no longer just a place for keys and coins. It has become a sacred chamber for your protection. Consider the ripple effect of this single act. When you are spiritually shielded and walking in favor, it doesn't just benefit you. It impacts everyone you interact with. Your stabilized energy allows you to be a source of peace in a chaotic room. Your sharpened intuition helps you offer the right word of encouragement to someone in need. The doors that open for you can become portals of blessing for your family and community. By taking authority over your own spiritual atmosphere, you inadvertently create a safer, more positive environment for others. You become a carrier of light, and that light has a way of dispersing shadows wherever you go. There will be days, however, when you might forget. You might rush out the door, your mind preoccupied, and only remember halfway through your morning. Do not let condemnation take root. The spiritual life is built on grace and consistency, not perfection. In that moment of remembrance, simply pause. Close your eyes if you can, and in your heart, reaffirm your declarations. Speak to the atmosphere around you right then and there. The authority you carry is not confined to a ritual. It resides in your faith and your voice. Your words have the power to establish your covering, even after you've left your house. This is a crucial lesson. Your spiritual practice empowers you, but your connection to the divine is not broken by a misstep. Simply realign and proceed. As you grow in this understanding, you may feel led to deepen the practice. You might feel to pray over the clothes for a specific situation before you place them in your pocket. You might be inspired to write a verse of scripture on a small piece of paper and wrap the clothes within it, marrying the spoken word with the written word. These are not rules, but potential expressions of a growing personalized relationship with spiritual wisdom. The principle remains the same: intentionality and faith activated through a natural element. Let's also talk about the testimony that builds within you. Each day you practice this and witness its subtle or profound effects, you are collecting evidence of a spiritual reality at work. This evidence becomes your personal testimony, and there is immense power in your testimony. It fortifies your faith against doubt, It becomes a story you can share to strengthen others, just as you are being strengthened now by shared wisdom. When you can say, since I began walking with this understanding, I've noticed a tangible difference in my peace, my opportunities, and my discernment. You are speaking from a place of authority that only lived experience can provide. This journey with Joshua Selman wisdom is about building a complete spiritual toolkit. Think of this teaching on clothes as your first reliable tool, a spiritual multi-tool for daily cover. But a builder does not use just one tool for every task. As you continue, you will learn about other tools and how they work together for specific situations, how to cleanse your home's atmosphere, how to break cycles of stagnation, how to anoint your doorposts for protection, how to use prayer and declaration to lock in your blessings. Each teaching will layer upon the last, giving you a comprehensive understanding of how to live a spiritually governed life. So, as we wrap this extended session, let your heart be settled and your mind be resolved. You have received something of great value today, a key that has been used for generations to guard, guide, and favor the faithful. It is now yours. The responsibility to use it is yours. The freedom that comes from it is also yours. Tomorrow morning is a new beginning. See it not as another mundane day, but as a fresh field, a territory you are walking into, spiritually prepared and covered. Let your first conscious act be one of spiritual authority. Gather your 3 cloves, hold them, infuse them with your faith through your words. Place them in your pocket as a commander places a shield before going into battle. Then step out. Walk through your day not with arrogance, but with the serene confidence of one who is protected and guided. The changes may come suddenly, or they may unfold gently over time. Trust the process. Your consistency is your agreement with the spiritual law you have activated. Keep watching, keep learning, and keep growing here with us. There is so much more in store for you. Your spiritual awakening has been ignited. Now let it shine. Go in wisdom, go in peace, and go in power. Your covered life awaits, because this understanding fundamentally changes your relationship with the world around you. You begin to see your life not as a series of random events you must survive, but as a landscape you are equipped to navigate and influence. This shift in perspective is everything. It moves you from a posture of reaction to a posture of authority. The feeling of being a victim to circumstance begins to dissolve, replaced by the quiet certainty that you have tools and you know how to use them. Let's talk about the cumulative effect. Think of each day you practice this as depositing a small measure of spiritual strength into your account. One deposit might not seem like much, but over weeks and months, the compound interest of consistent spiritual practice creates a vast reservoir of resilience and favor within you. You are building a history of walking in protection. You are creating a spiritual track record that begins to speak for itself in the unseen realms. The powers that once harassed you learn that your atmosphere is no longer an easy target. They recognize the fire and the sweetness and are forced to redirect their attention. Your consistent practice builds a reputation around your life in the spirit, a reputation of being guarded, intentional, and divinely connected. This practice also serves as a daily anchor for gratitude. As you take your cloves each morning, it becomes a moment to acknowledge the provision already present in your life. It's a reminder that protection and favor are not distant concepts, but accessible realities found in simple things. This act of gratitude itself shifts your frequency. A heart of thankfulness is a heart that is open and receptive to even greater blessings. So, in one simple motion, you are protecting yourself, declaring your authority, and opening the door for more goodness, all before you have had your first cup of coffee. Now, you might encounter questions from your own thoughts or from others. Is this necessary? Isn't faith alone enough? Think of it this way. Faith is the inward belief, the substance of things hoped for. But faith, by its very nature, seeks expression. It must be acted upon. You have faith that your house will protect you from the rain, so you walk inside. The walking inside is the action that partners with your belief. Carrying the clothes is a physical action that partners with your spiritual faith in God's protection. It is faith made tangible. It is your spirit and your body agreeing in a practical act of trust. It doesn't replace prayer or belief. It embodies it. It gives your faith a daily point of contact in the physical world. Furthermore, this wisdom connects you to a timeless lineage of believers who understood the symbiosis between the natural and spiritual worlds. You are not engaging in something new or novel. You are participating in an ancient stream of spiritual knowledge. There is a profound comfort and strength in that. You are tapping into a well of understanding that has sustained people through trials, journeys, and battles for millennia. You are, in a sense, standing on the shoulders of spiritual giants who have gone before, learning from their insights and applying them to your modern life. As you move forward, let this practice also heighten your sensitivity to other spiritual symbols and tools God has placed around you. You will start to look at herbs, oils, colors, and even the direction of sunlight with new curiosity. The natural world becomes a living textbook of spiritual principles. Your daily walk becomes an adventure in discovery. This is the life of a spiritually awake person, a life where nothing is truly mundane and everything holds potential meaning and purpose. Finally, remember that this journey with Joshua Selman Wisdom is a partnership. We are here to provide the teachings, the insights, and the revelations. But you are the one who must take them and internalize them and apply them. Your life is the laboratory where this wisdom is proven true. We can give you the map, but you must take the steps. Each step you take in spiritual obedience and understanding strengthens your connection to the source of all wisdom and power. So as we conclude this session, carry this with you. You are more equipped today than you were yesterday. You are more aware. You are more covered. The path ahead, with all its challenges and opportunities, is a path you are now better prepared to walk. Do not underestimate the power of starting small. Great journeys begin with a single intentional step. Your step is to place those 3 cloves in your pocket tomorrow. Go forward from this place, not with the burden of a new ritual, but with the lightness of a person who has found a key to daily peace, a key to spiritual clarity, a key to walking through your world with an unseen yet very real armor of favor and fire. We are here with you, and there is so much more to come. Your awakening is ongoing. Your empowerment is increasing. Walk in it.